What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. Today, we're going to be talking about my top 36 running backs here in week 8 of the fantasy football season. If you watched the wide receiver version of this episode earlier today, we are doing this just a tiny bit different than we have in weeks past. I'm still a little bit under the weather, still struggling with this respiratory thing going on, so don't mind me. It is going to be a little bit shorter than we have done in weeks past, but without wasting any more time, let's hop right into today's video and let's start talking about these running backs. So like I said, rather than talking about each individual player in today's episode like we have done in weeks past, we'll talk about them in groups of tiers. And so I want to talk about tier 1. Tier 1 is going to be those elite running back ones for fantasy football. And I got 4 guys in this tier here in week 8. We got Saquon Barkley, Breece Hall, Joe Mixon, and I got Derrick Henry in here as well. Now, obviously, all of these guys, we're not debating on whether we should start or sit them. These guys are must starts no matter what. They're the best running backs at the position no matter what. And when I'm just looking at the matchups for these guys right now, Breece Hall, he's got a pretty good matchup this week. He plays against the New England Patriots. They are currently ranked 31st against the running back position, so that is definitely a great matchup for Breece Hall. And when I look at some of the tougher matchups, you do have a tough matchup for Derrick Henry. He plays the Cleveland Browns, who are currently the 7th best against the running back position, but he is Derrick freaking Henry, and he has the ability to run for 80 yards on any given play. We saw that last week. I think he is still an elite RB1 for us here this week. Now, moving on to my tier 2. My tier 2, we're going to call those the high-end RB1s. I got 5 guys in this tier, and it's going to take us from running back 5, Kenneth Walker, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, Jordan Mason, and Kyren Williams, all the way to that running back 9. So that is the high-end RB1s. Looking at the matchups for these guys, Kenneth Walker has a really good matchup here this week. He gets the Buffalo Bills, who currently rank 30th against the running back position. Also, one thing to note here as well is they may be without DK Metcalf. So if they're without DK, they may lean on the run game just a little bit more in this matchup, meaning good things for Kenneth Walker. Now, Jahmyr Gibbs is up this high. David Montgomery got banged up last week. I still expect him to go and play in this game, but we saw when Jahmyr Gibbs got extra touches, he did well with those. And another guy who has a really nice matchup here this week is going to be Jordan Mason. He gets the Dallas Cowboys. They've been giving up the 29th most fantasy points per game to the running back position, so that is a great start for you if you have Jordan Mason on your fantasy football teams. Now, moving into my tier 3. My tier 3, we're going to have these as the low-end RB1s this week. We're going to go from running back 10 all the way to 15. I got Achane, Josh Jacobs, Kareem Hunt, James Cook, Aaron Jones, and DeAndre Swift of the Chicago Bears. Couple things to note in this tier. When you're looking at some of the nice matchups, some guys in this tier that have good matchups that I'm definitely targeting are Kareem Hunt. He gets the Las Vegas Raiders. They rank 26th against the running back position, so that's a good matchup for him. And the Chiefs, they've been running the football a ton. Supposedly, DeAndre Hopkins will be active in this one as well, so it'll be interesting to see how he is incorporated in this offense moving forward. And another nice matchup is going to be James Cook, who I have as my running back 13. He gets the Seattle Seahawks. They are ranked 25th against the running back position, so I'm watching that matchup as well, but he should have a very good day. Aaron Jones is going to be questionable. He played last week. This is a Thursday game. He was questionable with the hamstring going into last week. He still played. He looked pretty good. I think he's going to play. I'm not too worried about Aaron Jones. Now, moving on to my next tier, tier 4, we're going to call these the safe running back 2s here in week 8. Running back 16 to running back 21 is the whole tier. So we got J.K. Dobbins, James Conner, David Montgomery, Javonte Williams, Chuba Hubbard, and Alvin Kamara to complete the tier. I'm looking at these matchups as well. There's a lot of good matchups in this tier that we can target. There's one specific matchup that I think is a little bit tougher, but let's talk about the easy ones first. You got J.K. Dobbins in a nice matchup here against the New Orleans Saints. They are ranked 28th against the running back position, so that should be a good matchup because obviously the Los Angeles Chargers, they like to run the football, and New Orleans has been pretty vulnerable to the running back position so far. Same thing can be said for James Conner. Miami is currently ranked 27th against the running back position, and so him coming in as my running back 17, they should lean on that run game with James Conner in a good matchup here against Miami. That should have a lot of points, potentially Tua Tagovailoa back in the lineup for the Miami Dolphins on the other side of the ball. Now, Javonte Williams also has a nice matchup. Obviously, all of these running backs that play the Carolina Panthers tend to feast. That is Javonte Williams this week. He gets the Carolina Panthers. They are ranked dead last, 32nd against the running back position, and so we are definitely going to be firing up Javonte where we have him. And the one tough matchup in this tier is going to be Alvin Kamara. Now, there is probably a chance that he is not going to be playing with Derrick Carr. It's going to be Spencer Rattler back under center, maybe Jake Haener if Spencer Rattler doesn't get the job done. Tough matchup. The Los Angeles Chargers, they are third best against the running back position. Going to be tough for Kamara until we get Derrick Carr back in this lineup, but he's still a guy that I think will be a running back too, but we're just not going to get that top 5, top 10 type of upside that we had when Derrick Carr was in the lineup earlier in the year. Now, moving on to my tier 5. Tier 5 is the fringe running back too, so these guys that are just on the fringe of that. I do have a couple guys in here. We'll go from running back 22 to 26. I do have Najee Harris at 22, Brian Robinson at 23, Tank Bigsby, Tony Pollard, and Ramondre Stevenson, and that rounds out the entire tier for me. There's really only one matchup that I want to talk about for this tier. It is going to be Tony Pollard. He does get a tough matchup against Detroit. They're currently ranked second best against the running back position. So Tony Pollard, I think he is a more talented running back, and he has more opportunity than a lot of the guys in this tier with him this week. But the matchup against Detroit, it's going to be tough. They may not be as good. We don't have as good of a sample size with Aiden Hutchinson out of the lineup, but so far this year, they've been pretty damn good against the running backs, so we are tempering those expectations just a tiny bit with Tony Pollard here in this tier this week. Going to my tier 6. My tier 6 is those low upside RB3, so we can play them as an RB3. We can maybe play them in your flex spot if you only have 2 running backs, but these are the RB3s for me. They don't have a ton of upside. I got running back 27 to 32 to complete the tier. It's going to be Chase Brown, Raheem Mostert, Rico Dowdle, Rachaad White, Alexander Mattison, and Bucky Irving to complete this entire tier. Now, this tier has a ton of tough matchups. Really, there aren't any good matchups in this tier at all. So let's talk about some of the tough ones. Chase Brown, he's obviously been good. I think he's taken the 1A running back role in this Bengals offense, but he gets a tough matchup against Philly, who is top 5 against the running back position. The same thing can be said for Rachaad White and Bucky Irving. Obviously, both guys playing on the same team. It's kind of a 1A, 1B situation here. A 3-headed committee if you count Sean Tucker in that as well. But Rachaad White, he's still my favorite guy in the backfield. You can say what you want about the inefficiencies. They seem to trust him for whatever reason. So Rachaad White, he's still the guy that I prefer of all of them. But this matchup against Atlanta, they are currently the 6th best against the running back position. So a tough matchup for Irving and White here this week. And then Alexander Mattison for the Las Vegas Raiders coming in as my running back 31. He gets a very, very tough matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs, who have been number 1 against the running back position all year long. They just shut down the run. They shut down your number 1 wide receiver. They are a very, very tough defense to play there in Kansas City. And so Alexander Mattison, we're probably going to have to temper those expectations here in week 8. And now moving to my tier 7, this is the last tier, and we only have 4 guys in this tier, but these are flex plays, I think, at best. We're going to have 33 Tyrone Tracy, 34 Nick Chubb, 35 Austin Eckler, and 36 Tyler Algier. That concludes the top 36 guys. Really, Tyrone Tracy, he's a little bit more talented than I think a lot of people give him credit for. He's got a tough matchup against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's been very good against the run, currently ranked 8th against the run. And then these other guys, Nick Chubb, it's a tough matchup versus Baltimore. We want to see him get some more work. It's going to be a slow kind of ramp up for Nick Chubb. And Austin Eckler, Tyler Algier, they are just change of pace back. That probably have some flex appeal in these matchups. So there you have it, folks. Like I said, I apologize. This isn't normally how we do it. We usually talk about each guy individually. Everybody gets kind of 30 to 60 seconds that we talk about. Like I said, I'm a little bit sick. I'm a little bit under the weather, so I don't have the energy for that today. I don't even have the breath for that. Like I said, it's like a chest cold or something like that. It's really messing with my my breath. So it is what we're going to be doing today. This is what we did. So hopefully this was still good enough. With that being said, I do just urge you guys, if you enjoyed the content, you found something actionable, you just want to support the channel, hit the like button. Make sure you're also hitting the subscribe button for us as well if you're not subscribed already. More content coming soon, and I promise probably better content than this one was today, but I still knew that this is one of those types of videos that you guys really like each and every week. Still wanted to get it to you nonetheless, even though we're not 100%. But look, they tried to hit me with the questionable tag. They tried to hit me with the doubtful tag even this week for fantasy football content purposes. I said it don't matter. I'm going to play through the injury. I'm going to play through the sickness. I'm not Deebo Samuel. That's not what I am this week. So I'm here. I'm giving you guys the content. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. And if you go join the Discord is free to join. You can enter that Discord, ask me questions. And like I said, there's no risk in joining that. There's a ton of people in there, 250 plus people that want to talk fantasy football. And as I said, free to join. So no risk. With that being said, I have nothing else for you folks today, so I'm done rambling. I'm going to go rest up. I'm going to drink some electrolytes, whatever I got to do, and I'm going to be back tomorrow for another video, but I'll see you on the next one. Till then, peace out.